Peace. What's up? My name is Jules. Scary Hours. The interview. We here. You know what I'm saying? MC Prose.
What's up, y'all?
Respect.
Jewelzdagod, man. It's good to be with you, my brother.
Man,
it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? We haven't had the pleasure of linking up in over a week.
yeah, we put that work in.
Yeah, man,
definitely put that work in.
It's good to see you again. I'm excited to be representing with you, you know what I'm saying, and to be helping you to present this, because a lot of people really need to know who Jewelzdagod is, what that means, and all the weight that comes with all of that. So let's just tell the people off the top, who is Jewelzdagod?
It's that time. I mean, I was born in Nigeria. You know, my family are Mceyepher survivors. You know, after the British left in 1960, Nigeria was in turmoil, it was in civil war. You know, and my pops was able to get us up out of there and survive. You know, he was in the Nigerian army first, and then we moved. He got a job at the United Nations, and we moved to Israel. So as soon as I was born, I moved to Israel. I lived in Israel for the first 5 years of my life. You know, my family moved again. I lived in Pakistan for the next 10 years of my life. Islamabad, Pakistan for 10 years. You know what I mean? Aur kaise hai? Mera naam Jewelzdagod hai. Tora jante, you know? Then after that, we moved to Greece for like 3 years. You know, so it was really kind of like weird for me, just living in military bases in different countries and seeing turmoil, poverty, war, refugees at a young age. It traumatized me early. But also, you know, what it also did was I saw just the humanitarian efforts of peace and love too, you know, so Jewelzdagod came from that type of a background, man. That's what makes me so, I don't want to say militant on one end, but also humanitarian on the other end, a little bit of compassion too. That's who Jewelzdagod is, man.
That's good to hear, man. So you came to the United States. How did you get started making music?
You know what? It's funny is I started making music when I was 11 years old. I knew I was going to make music. You know what I mean? I was like in Islamabad, Pakistan. We had a satellite dish. And I was watching MTV Raps. I was just told my dad, like, yo, I'm going to go to America and be a rapper. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? He was like, rapper. Rap up so sweet torture and gone. Are you mad? What is wrong with you? You know, in our culture, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, you know, you fail. You know, it's like, so, you know, I finished school for my parents. Got a degree in marketing and advertising, went to North Carolina, UNC Charlotte. But, you know, I started making music in high school. I was DJing the high school dances. And then my boy, Dimitri Papadopoulos.
Where was this?
This is in Cyprus, Greece.
Okay.
You know. Okay. So I was DJing the high school dances. My boy, Dimitri Papadopoulos, was like, man, there's this club called Elizabethan. They need a DJ. I told him, you DJ, you want to check it out? I was like, sure. So I started DJing and playing hip-hop in a club in a city, Nicosia, that was just sold on pop music and house. And Elizabethan became one of the biggest clubs in Nicosia, Cyprus. And, you know, I feel like at that time, I made people start listening to hip-hop, and they'll tell you, you know what I mean? My buddies out there, Ricky Tate, Mash, Vladimir, you know, we turned an island of nerds into some B-boys and B-girls, and it was dope, man. Then, you know, when I came to America, I built with the Gods in North Carolina, just like learning about just this culture and the trauma that goes on here. And it wasn't until I came to really Los Angeles that my peoples kind of just took me under their wing. My boy Skip, Coco Jen marketed beats, and just, took me in the lab, and I started recording. And once I heard myself over, it was over with.
It was a wrap.
It was over with, man.
So who, well, let's get there before, but making the music, getting into it, and I know at some point, you had to have become disillusioned with the industry because you're not in an industry position, you're not chasing an industry crown, you're not trying to get a record deal and all of that sort of thing. So what is it that caused you to decide to be an independent artist?
I think for me, growing up, I was in private jets when I was 6 years old, flying over the Gaza Strip. So I had a maid, I had a driver, I had a cook. You know what I mean? I've seen every country already, so I wasn't trying to make a bag off the music. I was trying to express myself. And then it was kind of crazy too because, I was going to them Hollywood parties. I was seeing a lot of stuff that I didn't like. And then just building with really, really dope people like Professor Griff from Public Enemy, who just told me and showed me a little bit about the industry and opened my eyes to a little bit deeper of what's going on. And I think it was really, Prince taught us all how to be independent, like powers and ownership. If you work for someone else, you have no power. Like we saw the baby get canceled. Like Little Bougie said, I pay me, so no one can cancel me. So I think just, be like, I'm gonna go indie and express myself and be in control of my own destiny, faith. And I've seen people do it, tour around the world independently. You may not have heard of them because you watch MTV. You know what I'm saying? And you think that's all that's it. But they independent artists touring the world, like myself, booking their own shows, you know what I mean? Getting their own revenue. So I'd rather do that than have to have someone else tell me how to do music and control my revenue stream.
So how do you feel about the current state of hip-hop in 2021?
I think we gave up our power. I think, when hip-hop started and everything, they didn't even want the shit on MTV. Like, we wasn't being played, And then after they saw how, like, Run DMC could sell Adidas and how that could be incorporated, we gave up our power. I think hip-hop could have been in more control, the originators of the revenue stream part and ownership part. Because, now the art form is like being used for an agenda. So whatever agenda was marketing of your chains, wallets, cars, whatever. When the pure art form was so dope before, when it was just art, so it's unfortunate.
I feel you on that. I guess this is a two-part question. When did you first officially release your product, and what projects have you released?
I started Jewelry Entertainment in 2003. And since then, I had 5 albums out and 5 mixtapes. And just the journey it's a beautiful journey. The first album was the Life album. Wow, what an amazing situation when your debut album, I think when people started buying it, I was like, wow, I'm really onto something here. When people started coming to my shows, when I used to perform at festivals and moms would come hug me and say, wow, you're really great. And little kids would be like, I love your music. And, I was like, wow. It still fucks me up till this day, actually.
Proud moments.
Yeah.
What would you your proudest moment as an MC or as an artist?
Wow, you asking some great questions. I mean, my proudest moment was when I first sold my first CD. See, in 2003, it was physical copies. You know what I mean? So after I showed and I sold my first CD, it was like everything that happened before that led up to selling this CD. And
do you remember when and where, like where you was at when you sold it? Who you sold it to?
wow, I remember I was on Melrose in Normandy.
Okay. Okay.
There was a club called GABA,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so I had a show there, and and then I brought my merchandise at the show, and when they came after the show and was buying CDs, I was like, wow. Nothing can describe the moment when you manifested everything you thought about and it actually happened and materialized. So just that feeling is still a high. It's almost like that I could relive over and over again.
So what are the type of shows? What do you feel that you bring to a live show? Like what do you like to do on your stage show? And people would have to be at your stage show to even know about you as an artist versus what they get from you on your albums and that sort of thing.
The stage show gives me an opportunity to build a relationship with the audience. I get to stop, I get to talk to them, I get to get feedback, and I really get their energy, man. And I think when people could leave the show, it's like, wow, this set really made me feel this way, or I really feel connected to this man. There's certain artists, I'll go watch their show and I'll leave like, wow, he really told a story. It was more than a show. Like when I saw Common at Prospect Park in Brooklyn, so I just try to make it an experience where it's not people just coming to watch a play, or like you said, listen to the music, like we saw Locks versus Diplomats. He was like, yo, this is hip hop.
Right.
You could have just listened to the tape. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, you get to go a cappella, you get to bring the beat back, you get to switch it up, you get to talk to them.
That leads me into my next
you get
question.
Feedback.
Being that, both of us are MCs, what do you think it is, if you could name, it's not just one thing, I'm sure, but what do you feel is missing from these MCs? What are you hearing from the MCs that you grew up respecting and emulating, and yourself as well, that you feel that you bring as an MC, that you're not hearing from the so-called rappers that are getting a lot of the publicity and a lot of the attention from the media and the industry these days?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Nobody sounds like me. And that was kind of the key that I loved listening to hip hop. Like DOS Effects didn't sound like Brand Nubian.
Right.
Brand Nubian didn't sound like Mobb Deep.
Right.
Mobb Deep didn't sound like
Showbiz and MG. Right.
So everybody was so distinctly like their own that I think that's awesome. Nowadays, I just feel like, as much as I love all hip hop from all forms, I get disappointed when I see Megan Thee Stallion clones or Little Kim clones, just because somebody worked for them, you're just gonna try to copy that formula. It worked for them, it may not work for you. So it becomes this fully automated, like Ford factory where you're just pushing out Fords, you know what I mean? Instead of being creativity, so it's just a bunch of clones, man.
When it comes to the do you make a distinction? Like, I know a lot of people make a distinction between, like, quote unquote boom bap, quote unquote trap, quote unquote East Coast, West Coast, Dirty South, whatever I suppose you could call it. I guess this again is a two-part question. What kind of stuff do you like to spit over? Like, what's your range, I suppose? And then also, what is your thoughts on the idea that there should be genres in hip hop? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just being hip hop and rap. You know.
Well, as far as range, I feel like it depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Okay.
If I'm feeling violent, I'm gonna give you some violent shit.
Yeah.
If she just left and I had a good night, I'm gonna write some other shit.
Some romance bars.
You know what I mean?
Some get down bars, yeah.
So I think you have to experience the experience.
Gotcha.
If it's a rainy day, you may catch me doing some melancholy shit.
Yeah.
If I just was pushing my whip on the fucking 5 real fast by the water, I may just do some fun music. So I hate when people limit themselves to just one thing.
Yeah. Dig that. Is there a genre or a type of stuff that you gravitate to play in your everyday life and that sort of thing? Kind of music?
Well, right now, I'm really loving the Afrobeat music. That's like 60% of my playlist, man. From Runtown, new Afrobeat, Runtown to Wizkid, to DeVito, just all of them, man. Thames, and I'm seeing, like, Nigerian music was always big. We were the second biggest music entertainment industry. Even our movie industry in Hollywood, it's like huge. It was always big. But I think for the world to finally recognize it's a beautiful thing. And what I like is, like, we're not corrupted yet. We still got beautiful black women in our videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In our movies. We're not selling Pumas yet.
Right.
And Nikes and our phones and all that yet. As it's, getting infiltrated for sure.
Would you like to be involved in any of the Hollywood scene type of things? You see yourself as potentially even investing, maybe producing, executive producing? You thought about that?
You know what? I went back in 2018 and I met some Nigerian artists, and I'm in touch with a few. My cousin manages Runtown. Check out Runtown. He's a Nigerian artist. And, for me, I love hip hop, man.
Yeah.
I'm so influenced by it. I don't think hip hop artists out here, when I was overseas, really understand, like, kids in my village that can't speak one word of English, but they could rhyme a whole Wu-Tang bar, bomb atomically, Socrates, philosophies, and hypotheses. I'm like, you can't speak English, but you could rap. So, the effect and the reach, I don't think people really understand the responsibility that they have now, just being one of them pioneers. Or maybe, I don't know if they know how far their reach is. So I tell artists when I meet them all the time. I told Edie from Outlaws last week, like, yo, people know you in the village, in my village. Do you know that, like, you're, impactful in what you say?
People are checking for you, dude. Yeah.
And hip hop has really become a cultural phenomenon to the point where, wow, imagine if people that started it were able to get all of the revenue that it's gaining now, like I was saying earlier. If they didn't know it was going to blow up like this, so.
Plus, it is a telling thing when the OGs are getting clowned by the young generation for not having money, when the OGs made it possible for these young cats to be making the kind of money that they made by opening the doors, breaking the ground, making the sacrifices for no money when there was no money on
you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if the kids are doing stupid shit, shooting, maybe they just doing the stupid shit you showed them.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, the OGs, instead of competing with the youth, don't compete with the youth, guide the youth.
Yeah.
You know, and give them some guidance, man.
Yeah.
Where are kids gonna find guidance?
Examples, etc. Yeah.
Where, man?
Yeah.
You know, so the OGs are still, you know, not everybody, you know, like I see Kumo D, he'll drop a message, you know what I mean? KRS-One, he'll give you a message, he'll give them something, you know what I mean? And, he, you know, people that actually mentor others to be greater individuals or even greater artists. And I think that should be the responsibility if you're a bigger artist. Like, you know, sign people who you think can push the culture forward. That makes you even a greater man. You know what I mean? If you see something awesome, sign him. I mean, to each his own. You know, Gucci, man, he signs the same. I mean, not the same. He'll sign artists, which is good, whatever. But, you know, that's a whole different conversation about the negative energy being pushed in hip-hop, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to go there with it. I think anybody who's paying attention
already knows.
You know, culture versus industry kind of already knows, you know, we come down on the side of culture.
But you know what I do notice now? I noticed in the past there was so much more unity in hip hop. There was a Rockefeller crew. Everybody was crew. There was, you know, crews, the Diplomats crews, Naughty by Nature crews. There was a whole crew with Latifah and all of them. And there was more unity in groups. You know what I mean? Now it's like to each his own. We got like one group, Migos maybe, you know? One or two. So just seeing that change is interesting to me.
What do you think's behind that? Do you think that is something that is being pushed by industry, I guess, is a straight up way of asking the question? Do you feel that that is more due to the narcissism that people are experiencing? Do you feel that it's something due to the industry just kind of breaking up crews and making, disincentivizing the idea? Like, there's nothing in it for you because they're always just going to grab the coolest dude. They're just going to use you as a crew, split you up, like, you know what I'm saying, pull you off the crew, like bust and throw away the rest of the members, like leaders of the new school. Or is it just seriously like ghetto kids? Can't nobody have that described to them?
I think it's both because if, you know, just watching the whole NWA story, you know, pulling one person to the side, telling them something else, and, you know.
I mean, it's definitely a formula that's used.
Yeah, of divide and conquer. But also, I think that ego kills. Like, you know, I think that, you know, I've seen groups break up because one person just felt that they were more that much better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, we got that ego. I was in a crew called Coco Jam. We are all different personalities. Okay. We all had our own egos.
Yeah.
And you fight. What's the problem? It clashes. You know what I mean? As we saw the New Edition story, they'll just beat each other up backstage right before they perform. You know what I mean?
Literally fist fight, right?
Yeah.
Before the show starts.
So it's unfortunate, but the group thing was definitely something that was dope, man. And I still like doing music with people just to catch a vibe, different energy, collabs, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what we see now, a lot of features and collabs.
So give me some of the cats you've been collabing with, cats that you had collabed with in the past. People, they don't have to be men, of course, you know.
Got you.
I'm sure you. I love that Medusa joint, you know.
Man, I love Medusa so much because, you know, just being in Los Angeles, you'll get your flowers. She just kind of like, yo, Jules, I got you, you know what I mean? And she just keeps everything so regal every single time. But yeah, I did a song with Medusa called Let Go, dope, amazing. I did a song with Akil from Jurassic 5. that's another wise brother, you know what I mean, that we build on so many different levels. You know, my boy Through the Black, he from Jersey, he's got the coldest beat, spitter. You know, in the I don't really do too many features, man. I just like just expressing myself. Pal Shadows.
Nice.
From Nashville, Tennessee. You know what I mean? Did a song with him. I have a lot of like female vocalists that'll sing hooks for me.
Okay.
And my man Shiloh, he from Jamaica, you know, and he'll do some. And like he's on the new project Scary Hours that's coming.
Doing some things.
He does that reggae chant, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's on some Damian Marley shit.
Oh, that's lovely.
You know.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it. I did some shit with M9 back in the day. Yeah, he produced Micah 9. He produced She Part 2 on my Rebel Soul album. And just, you know, really having amazing people around me that was like, man, I mean, just LA Underground, I really love them because it's a family, you know what I mean? And everybody out here is just really just fucking dope. And I just wish that people would pay attention to the LA Underground more, as much as we see, you know, the Dre era be the default. Right. It's not just all gangbanging out here. There's some dope artists out here that will spit and murder you straight up.
Thanks. All right, but before we get up out of here, I was going to ask you about a certain battle rap that I heard about, but if you don't want to get into that right now, we don't have to. And the second thing, how can these people find you? Where's your stuff at? Where's the music? Where's the catalog? Where's the archive? You know what I'm saying? And how do they find out more about what it sounds like to be Jewelzdagod?
Man, jewelryentertainment.com is the mothership.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Let's go there.
It'll just like what it is.
Yeah, jewelryentertainment.com. Go there. Check out everything.
All right.
You know, soon I may be even Xing out Spotify, iTunes, and all of them, man.
Okay.
And just buy my shit through me, you know. It's the way I'm looking at it. So, yeah, we'll get into the battle later, you know what I mean? I don't even want to give that energy on this interview. But,
yeah, no, don't even worry about the battle, bro. We can talk about that some other time. Any shout outs before you jump?
Yes, I'd like to shout out everybody out here struggling. I'd like to shout out everybody that's, whether you're doing a 9-to-5, whether you're doing your music, be the best you can be. You know, I'd like to shout out everybody I've worked with, everybody that supports me, all my fans, Jay since 2003. And, you know, peace to the gods and the earths, man. You know, the mothers and the daughters and the fathers. And we all here, man. No doubt.
You heard it here first, y'all. Jewelzdagod.
Hey, look out for that Scary Hours LP, October the 30th, Halloween. You know, it's scary out here right now. Fear is really being used to force the masses into submission. So just be very careful about the negative energy. Sometimes it's hard to get out of that once you get in it and you don't even know that you're poisoning not only yourself, but everybody around you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what I gotta say to you know who. So just be very careful, brother. And one love to all. Respect. Again, it was great to have a seat with you, brother MC Prose, and just to build.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, let's turn this camera off and get into some more building.
Okay, bet.
We're on another level. Big shout out Unseen Legion Radio, Echo Factory Studio, Mceyepher Visuals, Inner Soviet's crew, Jewelry Entertainment, and we out.